Sarah, so the parents could now be facing more charges for allegedly trying to avoid arrest. How much could that affect this case?
Yeah, good morning, Lindsay. You know, the parents have some problems, right? In addition to the involuntary manslaughter charges that they're facing, 4 counts each, facing up to 15 years in prison if convicted, they have now boxed themselves into a situation where at this arraignment, when the issue of detention comes up, they will probably not get bond because now they've proven that they're a flight risk. And also, when you try to flee, that is evidence of consciousness of guilt that will just come up in their trial. If you haven't done anything wrong, why would you run away? And of course, anybody that helped harbor a fugitive, which they were, is also liable in this scenario. So, you know, they made the situation far worse for themselves by escaping.
Cedric, what do you make of the timeline here? I mean, some people are criticizing the prosecutor for announcing the charges against the parents before they were in custody. Is that a fair criticism?
Well, I'm not sure, because here's the uniqueness of this case. We have never seen a case like this. And I'm not an attorney, but certainly in my number of years as a lawman, we've never seen a case like this where you had an active shooter, in this case, a child. And then subsequent to that, the parents were charged. So this is going to be new. And so therefore, I would probably only guess that through this process, where some trial and error, I think there were some things to be learned here. But I think their efforts to go that step, to take that step in charging these parents is something new and unique. And I think is personally, here again, as a lawman, long overdue. So we'll see as time goes forward.
Sarah, building off of what Cedric said, because these involuntary manslaughter charges against the parents of the suspect are so rare in a school shooting, what's the burden of proof here, and how strong of a case do you think prosecutors have from what we know so far?
You know, Lindsay, typically criminal cases involve an act, not an omission. But there are plenty of cases that involve omissions. I mean, for example, child neglect cases, right, involving what you didn't do to protect a child. So I've had many of those. It is rare, but it is definitely in this circumstance, you know, there's some compelling evidence. You have the text messages where she says, LOL, just don't get caught. You know, that's endorsement, it's encouragement, and it's criminal. And then worse than that, the golden nugget here is basically the note where he planned out and drew out what he was about to do, and they didn't pull him out of school. So yeah, it is rare. It might be a little bit of a challenge for the prosecution because these are inactions as opposed to actions. But I think they can prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, for sure, with respect to these parents, because as much as the charges are unprecedented, the facts are also extremely egregious and unprecedented. And one thing, Lindsay, to Cedric's point, you know, as an attorney, I have never seen charges being announced before somebody's apprehended and in custody. It's just extremely rare, and I think something happened in terms of miscommunication between the sheriffs and the DA here.
Cedric, on that note, you did commend law enforcement in bringing these people in without any kind of incident, in a safe way in which no one was harmed. What do you think that they did successfully here in this case to bring this to that resolution?
Well, I think a number of things took place. First, you had a community there, clearly with community who was very much alert. People who were on the lookout, because I'm quite sure there were a number of be on the lookouts throughout the community. So when they observed one of the Crumleys and did their own little investigation as a citizen, they did the right thing. They notified 911, gathered information, police responded, they set up perimeters, they called out SWAT. They did everything textbook, and were able to apprehend them without incident. So this certainly could have been a case that went south terribly bad. But under the circumstances in which this occurred, they were brought into custody. So the Detroit Police Department, along with the community there and other law enforcement agencies that were very much part of this process, really have done a stellar job. And I think the community there in Oakland County and in Detroit across this country are glad to see this come to an end.
Sarah, we've talked about what the fact that they were fugitives for a short time could do to this case, and we've talked about the burden of proof here for these charges. But do you think that potentially this sets some kind of precedent as we do unfortunately see tragic events like this in which parents could come into sharper focus?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think that this is a rare set of facts, which is why the prosecutor was so bold in bringing these charges. But we don't typically see these fact patterns. You know, Lindsay, in these school shootings, we see parents that are neglectful in the way that they leave their gun out. They give access to a minor to their gun, but we don't see these extra neglectful acts of knowing that your child is going to shoot, knowing he has he's in mental crisis, and then not doing anything. So that's what makes this case so different. And also, you know, that the burden of proof, although it's beyond a reasonable doubt, the crime of involuntary manslaughter in Michigan and most states does not require intent. All it takes is an accidental killing of another human being with criminal negligence, and that's why I think the prosecution has a good case here.
Sara Azari, Cedric Alexander, we will have to hold it there, but thank you so much for joining us on this late breaking overnight news. We appreciate it.